everyone, and welcome to Monday Morning Must-Knows. My name is Merlin Rothfeld, and earnings season is officially upon us. We may have dysfunction in our government and a whole shutdown thing going on, but at least we have earnings to keep us rolling and give us volatility. Now, last week we had amazing earnings from pretty much every major financial firm. Beat earnings, looking fantastic, and this week, do we have any great earnings coming up? Yes, we do. I've got some big names, but we move away from some of the major financials and we get into other companies, which I think are probably more impactful. We start things off on Monday with a quiet one. That's Steel Dynamics. Tuesday brings you the big daddy Netflix, GE, Coca-Cola, Philip Morris, Raytheon, Texas Instruments, and Lockheed Martin. We'll see if that rare earth crisis is hurting Lockheed Martin. Moving on to Wednesday, the big day, at least for this week in my opinion, you've got Tesla leading things off with SAP, IBM, AT&T, Lam Research, and Next Era Energy. Intel, Union Pacific, Honeywell, Newmont, UPS, and Valero rounding out your Thursday. And Friday, a little bit of Procter & Gamble. Now, as we know, we still are in the midst of a government shutdown, and who knows, that may get solved any day now, but that government shutdown reaping havoc on the data. So anything that's government related is going to be delayed, and I'll show you some delays here in just a second. But those that are put up by different companies will be coming through, which may give us some clues as to where the economy may be headed. What data do we have? Well, we have some data coming out this week with regards to services and manufacturing, not just for the United States, but for around the world. As you can see here, this Friday at 3:15 a.m. Eastern Time, France will come out with their services and manufacturing numbers, followed up by Germany at 3:30, followed up by the whole EU at 4 a.m. 4:30 brings you England, and then, as we round it out to the United States, 9:45 a.m. Eastern Time, we get our services and manufacturing numbers. Now, this may actually be more important than normal. Why? Well, because all the government reports are being delayed because of a government shutdown. So we're starting to lose this window of transparency into our financial markets. That is going to create a little bit more uncertainty, and people are going to rely a little bit more on these announcements that are not government related. Now, keep in mind, when the government finally does come to their senses and actually work and do their jobs, we will have an agreement. We won't have the shutdown anymore, and we are going to have a landslide of data points to look at. What data points are we talking about? Well, let's talk about some of that delayed data. And there's quite a bit of it that's supposed to be released this week. We start things off on Thursday with the Consumer Price Index. That, of course, is a giant one. Unemployment claims happening on Thursday. Then you have the unemployment rate also on Thursday with the non-farm employment change. Those are huge. And you also have later in the week on Friday, new home sales. That's put out by the Census Bureau, which of course is a government agency, and it's shut down. So really this week could be very eventful, particularly as you get near Thursday because of the CPI, unemployment claims, and the unemployment rate. Remember, we missed on October 1st the unemployment rate number. It didn't get to come out because we're in a government shutdown. So people are really kind of concerned as to what that number may be. And as markets like to look at data, you always hear Jerome Powell say, we're data driven. Well, we're not seeing the data. So we are starting to see a market that, in my opinion, is throwing caution to the wind. Markets look absolutely fantastic. Russell at all-time highs, S&P and NASDAQ teetering at all-time highs, yet we're not getting data to help drive those markets higher. So as we hear of a government shutdown ending, probably want to be careful. It might be one of those moments where you scale back because we just don't know how the markets are going to digest all of these data points coming out at once. That, my friends, is your Monday Morning Must-Knows. Be careful out there. We'll see you next week.